Hey friends, how are you? How's it going? Welcome to IELTS video podcast. This is the 11th episode and we are happy to be back after a long time. Without further ado, let's welcome my dear friend, Mehdi.
Hello, Mohammed. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for having me. I'm really
Okay,
happy to be
so
here.
let's jump straight to the question. This is the first question of Cambridge 19. Could you please read the question, Mehdi?
Yeah, I'm so excited because I got this book. I went to the shop and I got the book, and I'm really happy that we're doing this. The topic is some people think that competition at work, at school, or in daily life is a good thing. Others believe that we should try to cooperate more and, rather than competing against each other. And it's really interesting, Muhammad, that your opinion is 180 degrees opposite of mine. So I believe that competition is, it's kind of much more important than collaboration and cooperation. What do you have to say to that?
Yeah, honestly speaking, while I'm writing for the IELTS, I don't think about my real opinions. I would go for easy opinions, and I mean the opinions that can be developed, the opinions that I can develop and talk about. So if you asked me this question in the real situation, I would go for something in between. I think both competition and cooperation are good and important, but in the IELTS writing, I prefer to side with one of the views to give a clear position and the examiner can understand what my position is. But when I first look at this question, I realized that the question has three parts. Discuss both views and give your opinion. I mean, discuss why some people believe that competition is better, why some people believe that cooperation is better, and finally, what's your position? So the first step for me is to brainstorm. I start thinking about why competition is good, then why cooperation is good. And according to the ideas I have generated, I come to a conclusion about my position. So when I think about it, I think it's better to be more cooperative because in life we need to communicate and cooperate more than competing with each other. In some certain situations, I believe that competition can definitely be motivating and encouraging, but overall I think mostly we need to cooperate.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. And this is exactly what you did here, in my opinion. You did a great job. And I would really appreciate if you can, give a link to our viewers so they can have a look at the entire essay that you wrote. It's brilliant. It's one of the good things about the style that you have is that it is really easy to understand and everything is really straightforward. The thing is that I would like to start by talking about task response. Everything is crystal clear. You talked about the topic. It is on topic. You developed. You talked about the idea that is actually not your opinion in the first body paragraph. You talked about competition. You developed it, and the organization is quite good here. You start with the topic sentence. Then you talked about the first supporting idea. You expanded it using an example. And then you said another benefit, switch to the next one, and immediately, rounded it off with an example about mobile phone, which is great in terms of coherence and cohesion. I can say the same thing about the next paragraph. This one is actually your opinion, and as everyone can see, it has more words than the previous one. The point that I was thinking is that I would have preferred it if you could talk more about collaboration and cooperation only, and you didn't mention competition, but I think you chose to talk about aspects of competition in contrast with collaboration, which I highlighted here, I underlined it all the way here, and then you have your conclusion about collaboration. And of course, you ended with a lovely conclusion, really straightforward, and I think it is completely doable. Everybody can do it in 40 minutes. There's no fireworks, just the essential, and it's brilliant. Regarding vocabulary, I want to draw everyone's attention to the skillful use of paraphrasing. So, for example, here, the topic talks about work, school, and daily life, And what you did in introduction is that you wrote two sentences. The first sentence was the paraphrase of the topic, as we can see here, instead of work, school, or daily life. You said personal, academic, and professional lives, which is brilliant. And also you gave your opinion. As you can see, there's so many skillful use of beautiful words and collocations. Participating in here is paraphrased to taking part, and everybody can see different, good collocations and vocabulary used here, like have higher motivation, attraction of gaining admission, strive for top ranking, stay ahead of your rivals. And it's really interesting. Here you said attraction. Down there, you paraphrase it in this way, the allure of being the best. So was it like something, it is definitely something that you think about when you write. What I really want you to talk about is how you do it, like how you write attraction here, and then you skillfully change it to allure, and how people can do that.
Yeah, so there's a term used in the IELTS band descriptor, flexibility, when it talks about lexical resources. So flexibility means how wide your vocabulary is and how well you can use different words. So yeah, one way is to use synonyms correctly. I mean, so if you cannot come up with the right synonym, so repeat the word, that's perfectly fine. Okay, you can even get high scores, but by paraphrasing attraction to allure, I'm just showing the examiner that I have a wide language repertoire, and as a result I'm hoping to get a higher score in my lexical resources.
Wonderful. And the same thing goes here. It's really formal, like hinder the formation. Everybody say stop the formation, but use the formal word hinder, which is really natural version. And
it's the less common version, yeah.
And the same thing here for example, hostility, leading to hostility. That's a brilliant word. It's the opposite of friendliness. And finally, this beautiful collocation, build effective communication and positive relationship. In terms of grammar, I'm going to round off. For grammar, you said those who enter a competition are set to. I love this grammar structure. Look at this. It's passive, but it is used in such a natural way that can pass unnoticed, right? So what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, it's good, but I wanted to mention a grammatical mistake I made. So I think instead of that, I should use a.
Yeah, exactly. But because it's so brilliant here, he said those who enter a competition are said to. It is passive, and
because we don't know who said that, so grammar. I want to stay more objective, not subjective. So I use the passive.
Brilliant. And here also, you said, despite these benefits, you started the second paragraph with the word despite. Can you tell your, the audience how you do it?
Yeah. So, in the discussion type essays, we need to have a structure. So the structure is to talk about the view you do not side with first, and in the second main body paragraph, talk about the view you side with. So for the discussion type essay, using on the one hand, on the other hand is fine. So I usually use despite these benefits. So I talk about the views that some people have for having my opposing views. And then I say, despite these arguments, I have another thing to say.
And it's kind of a cohesive device. It links to the previous paragraph, and it increases coherence and cohesion. Well done, my friends. Well done.
Thank you very much.
That's brilliant. I really have nothing
if I were
to
write this essay another time, I will take your point, and instead of talking about the negatives of competition in the second main body paragraph, I talk mostly about the benefits of cooperation. So
Thank you so much. Now let's move to my essay. Guys, I want to tell you something. The approach that my dear friend has, it's brilliant. It's mind-blowing. I just don't want to say anything, and we all listen to your analysis. It's 2 thumbs up, man. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, so I've divided my feedback into 4 parts based on the IELTS assessment criteria. The first one is task response, and usually use purple to highlight the things I want to talk about. So in your introduction, we see a clear position. You say that I think competition is definitely a better path and is a basis of a successful life, both in a personal level as well as an international one. It's clear, it's relevant, so you give us a clear point. And then we have some relevant ideas, okay? For example, you say too overwhelming, and then you narrow it down and give us an example: robotic, competition, concerted effort, and then you look at this viewpoint from other aspects, politically speaking, okay? And then you give us more details, leaders of a country, okay? That's perfect. So I would say that one part of the question is fully addressed with relevant, well-developed ideas. One thing I want to mention is this example, okay? I think for an ordinary discussion, it's perfectly fine. But when you give an example, I guess you should illustrate, okay, why this rapid growth is because of the competition. And you just give us this fact and you don't illustrate, you don't develop. So this is the only thing I can mention. So I would say that the last example fails to illustrate or to extend the previous main point, merely presenting a fact instead. Then we move on to the next body paragraph, and we see relevant ideas, to the point ideas: capitalism, free market, economic model. And then you give us more details. You don't repeat your points. You expand what you say, kick their competitors out. And again, you give us details, you give us examples, you don't overgeneralize, you don't give us inaccurate and unclear ideas. You just make it clear what you want to say, okay? And yeah, so the second part is clearly mentioned and thoroughly expanded. And finally, your conclusion has restated your position. Your position is clear throughout the essay. And so one thing is that your conclusion is derived from the argument presented in the body paragraph. So because many IELTS candidates say in conclusion, I believe something, but we don't get this view from the body paragraphs. But your conclusion is the result of your body paragraph. So well done in terms of the first assessment criteria. So the second thing I want to mention is the coherence and cohesion of your paragraph, logically organized. Okay, so the paragraphing, the link between sentences. So just one suggestion is to keep the topic sentence a little shorter. Okay, I think the first topic sentence is a little bit long. It's not a mistake, it's just a suggestion. So I would go for a shorter topic sentence. We see some cohesive devices, for example, likewise, furthermore, and again, for this one, instead of furthermore, I say, for example, politically speaking, it can also, okay, so instead of using a linker at the beginning of my sentence. On the other hand, to prosper and using different parts of a speech can help you link your sentences like competitors, and you changed it into competition, and it can make your writing more cohesive, okay? And again, by and large, after all, we see a wide range of cohesive devices, and this essay is logically organized. In terms of vocabulary, so I can say that I've used ChatGPT to collect a wide range of vocabulary you've used. So I've asked ChatGPT to give me the topic-related vocabulary and collocation. It's actually a lot. So let's have a look at some of them. So for the competition, for example, competitive, compete, rival, and you give us some examples: market share, capitalism, free market. In terms of collaboration, you say teamwork, coordinated efforts, concerted efforts, collaborate. So we call it a wide range of vocabulary. So the candidate, you have managed to flexibly talk about the topic, okay? And education and career, you see different words you've used, okay? International relationship. And in terms of collocation, we see topic-related collocations. Economically aggressive, well done. Secure market share. Beat rivals. Slashing prices. Innovation. Dominate. So we see collocations, a wide range of collocations, okay? Pave the way to succeed, designed, and they are used skillfully and naturally. They are not forced, they are accurately used. Well done. And yes, as I said, it's a long list, so I'm just highlighting some of them. And yeah, let's move on to the final assessment criterion, which is grammatical range and accuracy. Again, I've just highlighted some of them, some of the complex structures you've used. In your introduction, you've used whereas. Both can make your sentence complex, such as, okay? Should leaders of a country be aware of the inversion? And you've used a participle clause, leading to another adjective clause, which, okay? Children, again, who, and then who are brought up, the passive structure. And others would, until, again, until can make your sentence complex. I think there is a slip, okay? You said when they fall in love, they would. Guess it's a slip. It should have been will, okay? And
Yeah.
those who and
Exactly.
are much more likely. And again, we see a wide range of grammar used skillfully and accurately. Well done.
Thank you so much. One last point, because first of all, thank you very much. It's brilliant and really enlightening. Now, I think some people have that question: how and where and how? Give us some more details about the use of ChatGPT for categorizing all those topic-related vocabulary. How it can be done. If they want to do it at home, what do you suggest? How to use ChatGPT
It's a powerful
and AI
tool.
to give you some
so we should accept that it's a powerful tool. So the technology has been developed a lot. It's unbelievable. So I can talk to ChatGPT like I talk to you. Okay, so yeah, you can simply have a chat with ChatGPT. So I need some help. For example, I don't have enough time to categorize all of your vocabulary. So I just copy your essay and ask ChatGPT to give me a list of topic-related vocabulary and collocations. Sometimes there might be some issues, but by making it clear for the ChatGPT, by asking ChatGPT to modify what it has already said, you can get great results. But I think it should be used as a tool. I think ChatGPT still cannot replace IELTS instructors and teachers. So you can ask ChatGPT like this one to give us some sentences, to give us the list of vocabulary and collocations. And sometimes for idea generation, it's an amazing tool.
Thank you very much. And I just want to ask you something. Let's continue doing this, and let's have it at least once a month. And
okay, sure.
Let's do this. Okay.
Fingers crossed. Sure. And I hope you've enjoyed. And please let us know what you think about the new style of the IELTS video podcast. So this session we decided to prepare materials before and present it while we're discussing. So let us know what you think about it. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.